And it's very painful to miss someone you're bonded to and you love. And the way you heal that pain and feel better right away is I just say, I miss my wife. And then I ask myself, why do I miss her? And I miss her because I love her so much. I'm getting dressed up and I put on a tie to go out with my wife. And she said, oh, you can't wear that tie with that. And I'm fine with that. I go, okay, here, pick out a tie for me. I'm fluid and flexible. And so she picked out a tie and I wore it. Then the next time, same thing happened. Third time, same thing happened. Fourth time, I didn't pick out a tie. I said, honey, would you pick out a tie for me? And I realized this was the beginning of me asking her to do something for me all the time. Would you pick this for me? This turns into, date night. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? See, men stop thinking for themselves. What can I think of that would be right for me and right for her? There's an initiative that men have in the beginning until they fail a few times. And then they figure, well, it's easier just to say, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And so forth. And of course, then she makes the mistake, as we talked about, well, where do you want to go?
Right.
This is just a low energy relationship. But if a man feels I can be successful. So basically, I noticed myself just not even having the decision of what tie works for me after just 3 times of her correcting my tie. So At that point, I just started realizing, wait a second, I don't want to be in the mode of yielding to her to make decisions all the time, but we make decisions together, and I make a lot of decisions on my own without asking her. But if it involves her, certainly I can involve her. So it's just not having a man lean on you too much for what we should do, where we should go, what we think. And if you do know where you want to go, you can always just say, this is what I'd like. And that's having clear boundaries. Clear boundaries is what you want to wear. I have no right to tell you what to wear. You have no right to tell me what to wear, but you do have a right to ask for my help, which would make you feel happier if you wore this outfit. Would you do that for me? As opposed to I'm in control of something. But since we're talking about outfits, I have another funny story. And I know we're going way over, but that's what you do with me. Such great conversations. You might
I love talking to you, John. I could talk to you for hours and hours.
For me, it's very sweet because I get to remember my wife and I get to remember all of the lessons I learned in my marriage. And one of them is I bought her 2 dresses. One was black and one was white. Okay, so already I bought the dresses. So when she wears them, already I feel she's mine. So this is where going shopping with a man is, he picks something out, that's his. But let's say he didn't even do that. But Bunny used to hold up the black dress and the white dress. And she'd say, what should I wear tonight? And I'd say, wear the white dress. And if she went, yes, the white dress, the whole evening, I'm feeling proud. That's my dress. She did what I suggested. But typically what women will do when they haven't made up their mind, it could be white or black. And it's not that important, really, what she wears, because she's holding up 2 things. There's 15 other dresses or whatever. So she's holding these 2 dresses. She says, what should I wear? And he says, oh, wear the black dress. She goes, no, I think I'll wear the white dress. Okay, now that's real sweet. You did what you wanted to do, but not helpful for the relationship. If you ask him, and it's really one thing or the other, do what he says. Okay, That's not giving up who you are. At the same time, I have another funny story. This is my comedy act now. You bring out the best of me, Michelle. And it is. I learned this thing about when women are hungry, their blood sugar drops. And when their blood much faster than for a man. Okay, this is a biological thing for men and women. There's more science to it, but just think about men would go on these long hunting trips with no food. So we can circulate the sugar and goes back into the liver, it comes back and we circulate. We can sustain energy, but then we'll be completely exhausted. But at least our blood sugar doesn't suddenly drop. Okay, so it doesn't suddenly drop. For a woman, it suddenly drops. And when it drops, that means her brain can't make serotonin. And so whatever she says is now going to be an emergency. So the first thing is if you're traveling on a trip and a woman says, I'm hungry, and she says, let's find a restaurant, find it right away. Because otherwise her brain is going to become hijacked by stress. Just let it, we're going to find it. And I didn't know that. What I would think is, well, when we get to the next town, we'll find a restaurant, whatever. then suddenly we're in the car and she doesn't say anything, but now we're having an argument about something. And it's all when women's blood sugar drops, her brain is hijacked by stress. It's just she'll start thinking of things that are wrong and what doesn't work and whatever. So have a candy bar, a healthy candy bar in the car always. So start this and we'll go find a restaurant soon. So treat it like an emergency, which is get her food, get that blood sugar back up. And ironically, it was another story I was going to tell, but I jumped to that story. I have no idea what the other story is, but they were all sweet stories about Bonnie. When I talk about Bonnie, I want people to understand this. Because many women are older and they're finding men whose wives have died, possibly, and a man whose wife dies, you never stop loving her. Okay, so I mean, Bonnie's a big part of my life. I'm lucky I get to talk about her a lot, but what happens when sometimes something sparks my memory, I'll feel the sadness. I feel I miss her. And it's very painful to miss someone you're bonded to and you love. And the way you heal that pain and feel better right away is I just say, I miss my wife. And then I ask myself, why do I miss her? And I miss her because I love her so much. And when you just say, because I love her so much, that's love. And that love heals the pain. And then you feel better again. And your heart is more open. So that's the key whenever you're missing someone, for women or men, and you feel sad, ask yourself, oh, I miss them, but why do I miss them? Because I love them so much. And that love then helps heal the wound in the heart. Because see, when you're bonded to somebody, there is a wound. It's a tear. It's literally like a tear. And you don't want it to scar up. You don't want it to, stay that you miss them, but it's not so painful because it opens sweetness in the heart. So when I remarried with my wife now, I love her very, very deeply. But there's nothing that can replace long-term relationships. So you can love someone a lot, but you don't have the depth of love that grows over time. That's bonding. And they literally become a part of you. But here's a woman, she falls in love with me and I'm in love with her. And at one point then she says, and don't be judgmental of her because she's very open and vulnerable, which is why I like her so much. She speaks her truth. She says, well, do you love Bonnie more than you love me? It's like,
oh dear.
This is women. They always give you a no-win question. So anyway, I just speak my truth. And I said, sweetheart, the most painful thing in my life was losing Bonnie. And I love her with all my heart. And I will always love her with all my heart. But in healing my broken heart, I have become a much more loving person. So you get the benefit of being with me, being more loving than she ever got to see. So you're getting more love. And I love you so much. But I always love Bonnie. So that's the sweetness. And that's what women can know, is that when a man heals a broken heart, he will be more loving. Okay, this is, if he's reaching out again for love, you got a better catch. So these guys that are getting older, their wives are gone, go for them. Because they know what loneliness is. They know what emptiness is. They know what they're missing. In my new book, I had to take it out for another book, but I've created this whole chart on what women do for men. And I'll just simplify it. It was really beautifully done. I can't repeat it all, but it's without a woman, there's no home. A man can build a house, but there's no home. Women by nature, Bonnie we're going to talk to our relatives. We're going to get the kids. Where are we going to eat? We're going to bring this together. We're going to create a party. We're going to have birthday parties. All of that went out the door after Bonnie died. Now it's coming back because I have a woman in my home but this is what women don't realize, how much they offer to men. So I have a whole chapter in this book on what men can offer, what men can provide. And then another chapter on what men can't provide. Because if men can provide certain things, then suddenly you expect them to give everything. And there's certain things men can't provide. And one of the most important things is they can't provide for you the support another woman can give you. See, a man cannot actually fully empathize with what a woman goes through. Only another woman can. And you can measure this in their brain function when two women are sharing problems. The empathy level is dramatically higher than a man can ever get to. So you don't ever expect a man to give you that. That's a need that women have. It's called the need for belonging.
Mm-hmm.
It's I forget her name, a big popular YouTube, any popular writer. She talks all about everyone, the need for belonging. Uh, Belonging is very, very important. And for a woman, the only way you get belonging, or one of the most powerful ways to get belonging, is with other women, sharing with other women. And if you don't have other women friends in your life and support from other women, you're going to expect a man to fill that void, and he can't. So he can't fill that void. He can't fully understand what you're going through. What he can do is half understand it and then feel compassion to reassure you in a space of optimism.